Welcome back to another episode of the Corporate Cowboys podcast. My name is Alex. Today is Wednesday, November 30, 2022, and I'm back with another 30-minute consult, getting in a couple of reps as far as, dry firing and whatnot goes. So this one is coming to us from r/CareerAdvice. It is a Reddit question. And they didn't tag it or flare it. They didn't flare it with anything specifically asking for advice, but it's a question. The heading itself, the title, has a question in it. And it simply says, keep getting fired. Why? Question mark. All right. Well, some of these questions are just funny, and I know I laugh at them a lot. And me personally, I'm a rather lighthearted person. I tend to see the humor in most everything, and a lot of dark things too. Some might call that resiliency. Others might call that coping. Others might call that, I don't know, just resurgent trauma. Who fuck knows? But all I know is that it's gotten me out of some tight squeezes, and I'm happy that I'm able to look into the face of danger and laugh at it. Because it's given me plenty of good experience, plenty of learning experience too. I won't call it bad experience, but it's plenty of learning experience in the process. The body for this one says, I'm 26, halfway to earning a college degree with a plan of hopefully going to law school afterwards. That's cute. I actually, that was kind of my trajectory around that age. I work pretty blue-collar jobs in production factories and quarries and etc. So they're in production factories. They're mining for rock in quarries and rock quarries and whatnot. I've been discharged from so many jobs with usually no reason given. But I was just discharged from my last job I only had for 5 weeks. I was in a manufacturing job in a super small shit company. Well, there you go. You applied for it. I don't know what you're saying. It's a shit operation. Maybe they'll give us some context, right? Keep in mind, they say, I'm 26. Okay. Most guys I worked with there were in their 50s, 60s, and stood around jacking the boss off all day. I worked circles around the entire crew. There was a total of 8 employees, including myself, in this building. Yeah, that's small. Okay, all right. I was doing everyone else's job, plus my own. I didn't mind. I liked keeping busy and made my day go by faster. Anyways, these guys were really standoffish to me, including my boss since day one. I chalked it up to me being new and not part of their in crowd yet. That's in quotes, the in crowd. But they were even more distant after I tweaked my back on the job a couple weeks ago. I took 2 days off to rest, was denied workers' comp, and told I had to be cleared from my doctor. Keep this in mind. Pretty sure this specific situation has to do with that. And then in parentheses they put, by the way, still not cleared for work for my primary, technically, but was told by HR to come back to work anyway. So not sure if that could lead to a legal situation for the company. Well, I'm not in employment law, but I'm pretty sure you could be brought back on for light duty. You could be brought back on for light duty until you are cleared or until you receive some type of final decision, some type of final evaluation from a doctor. Now, I was let go Thursday after only 5 weeks of working there, and was given the reason as my excessive tardiness. When I called HR, she said my time was showing 10 minutes late every single day I clocked in, which never happened. Turns out, if you clock in even a few seconds late, still within the same minute the shift starts, the time clock automatically pushes your start time back 10 minutes. So they stole time from me the entire time I worked there. This petty little shit always seems to happen to me in every job I go to, where the boss doesn't seem to want to associate with me. I genuinely don't get it. I come in, outwork every motherfucker around X5 times 5. I'm not sure it's personality based. I'm not sure if it's personality based or what. I just want some advice so I can stop fucking everything up. Well, at least this person is very straightforward. They're not sure if it's personality based. Yeah, they come off as somewhat assertive, as somewhat is the term I'm looking for boisterous? I mean, boisterous is kind of like rowdy, rambunctious. And I don't get so much of that from this prompt. But they seem confident, overly confident, claiming that they can outwork everybody that they work with, at least by a factor of 5. It's not a bad thing necessarily. What we're shooting for here is the opportunity to improve, to stick around, to get better, to develop ourselves professionally. That's on a corporate cowboy level. You want to be better always, every day. Now, they do include an edit in here that says, I'm also not a people person. So I don't really care to play their buddy games. If you don't want to associate with me at work, cool. I will stay to myself, no problems. I'm not brand new to this line of work either. I was painting and fabricating in this specific role, something I've done as a living for 4+ years. Now, one has to ask themselves, if this person is admittedly not a people person, I don't know what they're expecting by not flying under the radar, right? I mean, if you're going to be this aloof, if you're going to be this not gloomy, what's the term I'm looking for? It's not sullen either. What's the term I'm looking for? If you're trying to be a gray man, I suppose, you're just trying to fly under the radar, blend in with the background, get in there, get your job done, and fucking bounce. So you could graduate from school and go to law school, all that good stuff. You have to set yourself some routines to not stand out. So you actually want to show up like 5 minutes early and be clocking in. You want to be taking time from the company, not have the company take time from you. Now, granted, the company taking time from you while you have been working, if at any point in time, see, now we're speaking legally, if at any point in time it can be documented that you clocked in, say you started at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? But you clock in at 8:01, and or at 8 o'clock and 22 seconds, and the time clock bumps it up 10 minutes because you didn't clock in at exactly 8 o'clock. I mean, that's why I say clock in at 7:55. What's the worst that could happen? You take 5 minutes of time off of the company? No, I mean, you could be doing some prep work in the meantime to get your shift started correctly. If it could be documented at all that you have been working from 8:01 to 8:10 when the time clock actually punched you in, or when the company began recording the time that you worked, if it could be documented though that you were working between that time, 8:01 to 8:10, yeah, you can effectively prove that the company was taking your time. But beyond that, I mean, we're just going on circumstantial evidence. This person being not a people person, they obviously want to set themselves some kind of system, set up a system for themselves to not get fired. Obviously, if they're not looking to get promoted, if they're not actively looking to get promoted, they're just barely looking to be onboarded and get past the probationary period and not get let go for excessive tardiness. Now, this one here says excessive tardiness, and yes, I get that in this particular situation, they tweaked their back and they need some time out for it. But the excessive tardiness isn't because they were out for their back. Apparently, it's because, from what this person is saying, the company found the convenient excuse that the person would clock in late every day and was effectively counted as being excessively tardy, being tardy repeatedly, being consistently late. If they're not a people person, yeah, I mean, my go-to, without much more that they could provide us if I don't have a one-on-one with them, which you can schedule on the Instagram page. You can shoot us a DM. We could set something up. It's the Corporate Cowboys with a Z. It's at Corporate Cowboys. That's the handle. Or you could listen to the podcast anywhere that podcasts are distributed. That's Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Android. The Corporate Cowboys podcast is also available on Patreon, so there are multiple tiers. If you want to shoot us some money, some donations, keeping this operation non-for-profit, anything you send is going to go towards business expenses and legal fees. Additionally, snail mail is also available. P.O. Box 3372, Rancho Cordova, California, 95741. Not having the OP in front of me to ask them questions about their experience, about their day-to-day, about their routine, about their aspirations, let's say, their ambitions even, so that I can evaluate and assess their level of interpersonality, their social skills, what kind of skill set they're working with professionally, to at least be retained by these companies, because it sounds like this person has had a streak of bad luck, of just shit luck, getting laid off, getting fired. But the common denominator here, and it's something that they've been doing for 4+ years, is getting these jobs and getting fired consistently. The common denominator in all of these situations happens to be them, on a personal level, as an employee. It could be that they're projecting something out there, that they're presenting something out there, that the service they provide to the company by way of its associates is not appreciated. And so they're getting fired for it. So then we would have to dig deeper and find what this person could fix about how they do things. It doesn't have to be necessarily themselves. Shit, they could be on the spectrum, right? Still highly functional to get through interview processes, get this job, but then subsequently is fired. So this person is functional to some extent, and they want to go to law school, so that already requires a certain pattern of thinking, I would like to believe, because law school attracts very peculiar individuals who are very particular about what they want to do. They're I don't know what the term is, special, unique, eclectic in their own way, and yet the majority of them are very young. I know when I was in law school, when I started law school, I was 5 years over the average age in my class. And still these young people that are in undergrad today and in graduate schools, professional schools, they have a certain mindset. It's a high achiever's mindset to some extent. But they don't know how to direct it. Sometimes they don't know how to focus it. They may be misoriented, misguided. And I feel like a lot of people are in today's Western civilization, but that's another episode. I think this person needs to, first fix their backup, because first address their back pain. Let's put it that way. Because their back holds them up while they work. Physical health is priority number one. You want to eat right, you want to sleep right, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, all that good stuff. So that requires that you work out regularly, stretch even, so that you are flexible and not prone to physical injury. Then set yourself up for success by not getting fired. I think if what you want to do is fly under the radar, I'm not sure how much money you're making, but if you only want to sustain yourself while you get through law school, then you might not be on the train for a promotion or advancement. That might not interest you in the short term. What should be a short-term priority is staying on the job, not getting fired. And to do that, you need to become self-sustaining. But you've also got to be aware it's like I'm imbuing a way of thinking on a person to be a stand-up guy, but you've also have to think criminally, right? So most states are right to work states, or formerly known as, I still know them as, fire at will states, meaning that you could walk in tomorrow and they could say, hey, we don't like your fucking face, so you're fired, right? And getting let go at this stage of civilization shouldn't be a tremendous obstacle, right? Because just as easily as they can let you go, you can also walk away. Now, I understand that office politics might not be appealing. They're not appealing to a lot of people. The practice of law, mind you, is full of office politics. You claim to not be a people person, you're gonna fucking love law. Or law's gonna love fucking you. Oh man. But you're not a people person, you don't like buddy games. Fine. Hey. Doesn't mean you cannot learn how to be social, how to be sociable. You have to learn how to shake hands and network for the sake of personal interest, yours and others, and make those interests come together and build something worthwhile. You might not do that. You might not do that on your next job, right? Your goal is to go to law school. But if you choose to move up in the world at any rate, it will require social aptitudes to be able to navigate corporate. You won't have to be, you won't need to be a people person, but you should want to know how to work with people and how to work people. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a certain state of mind, in a certain mentality that just makes you easy to fire. Let's take a look at some of these comments real quick. So the first one says, while it does seem like a toxic workplace, trying to work circles around your cohorts won't earn you any awards and may subject you to being targeted. See, and that's why I said that they might be on the spectrum. Because they're working at 5 times the rate of others. So, I mean, I don't know. I do know, don't say that. One could draw conclusions that this person is awkward to talk to, even. And they might compensate for this awkwardness by just working harder. Working through breaks, maybe, working through lunch. We don't know that. I mean, that's something that I would ask if I really wanted to get into the nitty gritty of the corporate culture that they just got let go from, so that we could assess and evaluate. We could go through the motions of potential causes, even though no cause termination exists. We still want to run through the potential causes of what they could fix to be a better professional, right? Whether the objective is retention, whether the objective is promotion, whether the objective is renegotiation, termination. We don't know. Now this person says, yeah, while it does seem like a toxic workplace, trying to work circles around your cohorts won't earn you any awards and may subject you to being targeted. Work to the level of your immediate supervisor, not more, not less. And while it may be a generational thing, if you're not clocking in 5 minutes early, you're late. All right. Yeah, no, that's perfect, because that's my recommendation. That's how I got brought up in the game. There are some folks who want 15 minutes early. Show up 15 minutes early, and it shows how much more professional you are. I personally don't do 15 minutes early because my time is valuable, and if I'm not getting paid to show up there 15 minutes early, what am I going to do? I mean, unless I'm setting somebody up, unless somebody's getting framed, unless it's a fucking hit, unless I'm trying to close, I might only show up the 5 minutes early and call it a day. Call it good there. Now it says, you might not see it as a big deal if you click. It says here click. You might not see it as a big deal if you clock in at 8:02, but your employer might. They know it's going to take another 10 minutes to get ready to work and be proficient. Well, that time to get ready to work, like if you're changing out of your civilian clothes into your work clothes, and like you have to put on special clothes, all of that is company time. I mean, I think that has even been ruled in case precedent, that the time it takes you to arrive at work, once you arrive at work, you're essentially working. You're essentially, like, if you have to change your clothes to put on special work clothes, that's work. It says here, however, they are not typically allowed to penalize your paycheck. You must be paid for hours worked. It says here to call your state labor department and file a wage claim. Yes, I like that. Somebody else says, if you run into an asshole in the morning, you ran into an asshole. If you run into assholes all day, you're the asshole. And that, I guess, is a quote from Raylan Givens from Justified, a show, I believe, on TV. And that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, one or two jobs I could see that happening. But if it's a pattern, and I mentioned the common denominator seems to be this person who just gets fired for no reason. There's always a fucking reason. But again, this person wants to work circles around their coworkers, their associates, their managers even. Managers that are up in years, 50s and 60s, when this person is 26, half their age. Less than half. More, or is it more than half? Less than half their age. Yeah, less than half their age. Less than half their age. I guess it depends on how you word it. Less than half. Saying less than half. Like a person is 60, and I say they are less than half your age. They're going to be less than 30. When they could be networking with these folks. And this is something that this person has done for 4+ years. So this is an industry, this painting and fabricating. This sounds like industrious work. So these old heads must know a little something about the work, right? But this person doesn't want to associate with them. Doesn't sound like they have plans of networking with them. If anything, they show up a minute late and $1 short. When they could be showing up there 5 minutes early, striking up some chit-chat, maybe not chit-chat, but striking up productive conversation even about the work, and could ease themselves into a pay raise, could ease themselves into long-term employment. But again, this person may be averse to that interpersonal communication. Maybe they don't know the benefits of it yet. I mean, they're 26, right? Everybody was a fucking rookie at one point. I stopped being one at fucking 20 or some shit. But some folks are late bloomers. I don't blame them. But the later in the game that they wake up, the faster. I'm snapping my fingers. The faster they've got to run and put in the work. And by work, I mean professional work, social work. That's another form of emotional labor, if you want to put it. But it pays dividends. This person might not see it yet with these buddy games. I like how he said, these people stand around jacking the boss off all day. Bro, it sounds like they're doing something right. Even if it is standing around the boss, making the boss feel well. If the company is making money, you've got to ask yourself, how do these people work 5 times less than I do? Because you can't be, I refuse to believe and until I'm proven wrong, I just refuse to believe that this person working 5 times more than everybody else is the reason the company is profitable, right? If you have bandwidth, use that. Don't soak up other people's responsibilities and you not get paid for it. You're also fucking yourself. You do 5 times the work, and it sounds like you bitch and complain 5 times more than everybody else. You're still only getting paid your original wage, your original pay rate. What the fuck are you killing yourself for? You want to make more? Negotiate for more. You want to work more? Then do it for the love of the game. Work twice as hard. Work 3 times as hard. And then those other 2 degrees that amounts to the 5 times more, invest it in talking with your associates, talking with your colleagues, networking with them. That way you have a reputation and you have a network coming from it. They'll know you're a hard worker and you're a good networker. But if this person, again, is not a people person, they're probably awkward as fuck. Somebody else comments real quick, and I might end it with this one. This person says, you made the lifers look bad. You got an injury on the job and applied for workers' comp. You didn't know the clock in trick. And in parentheses they put, because you didn't get along with the lifers and they didn't tell you. Somebody else says, they say ETA. I'm not really sure what that means. ETA, not saying this is how the world should be, but it's how the world is. If you want to survive law school, read The Art of War before you enroll. The Art of War ain't gonna save this motherfucker, man. I'm gonna just cut it here.